All right, so I think Palantir is going to $45 from $63 right now. This is going to be a massive potential crash, and you have very little downside for a massive potential upside if you take this short position. So I'm going to walk you through everything that's about to happen, and please don't come at me with this whole price discovery, don't short during price discovery, because I'm about to shoot that entire scenario and argument in the foot here in just a few minutes. So give me a chance to refute it before you start doing all your comment keyboard warrior stuff in the comments section. And obviously, if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that this is what I do. I'm doing TA. I try to call as much as I can and, let people know what my trades are and stuff like that. I'm actually in a short position, building a short position right now on Palantir, PLTR, for the $45 target, and at the very least $50 to $51. I'm going to show you exactly why here in just a second. But if you've been watching this channel for long enough, that I'm migrating over to a new channel, Drew_Wolfer, which is the first link in the description. So if you want to see the full video on this and the full analysis on this, go over to that channel, because that's exactly where I will be doing all of that technical analysis and where I will be migrating all of my content to in the future. So let's just get straight into it. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe on the other channel, Drew_Wolfer. Boom! Bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections, whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you agree, whether you disagree. I welcome it all. And let's get into the technical analysis behind this. Now, first and foremost, we are on the Palantir chart. What is the first thing that makes me think that this bad boy is about to go down? Well, other than this big fat red candle, right? This is not a big deal. One candle, no one cares, right? Here's what's happening though. Look at this RSI. Okay, we've got RSI. Boom. Look at this, right? It's trending downwards, right? Okay. We can all agree upon that, right? Now, let's move right up here. Does that look like a bearish divergence to you? Because this is exactly what happens in a bearish divergence. Price goes up, RSI trends down. Okay, so if that's not enough for you, that's fine. We're going to move on to the 1-day chart where things get a little bit more nasty. But before we do that, I want to show you one thing. Does that look like a gap to you? A gap that hasn't been filled? Yeah, it does. It looks like a gap that hasn't been filled. And if you think that it's been filled because you're looking at the chart and it's super zoomed out, I'm going to show you why it has not been filled yet and how we know that. Okay. This gap has not been filled. What is the low of this gap, or of this candle right here? The low is $51.61. In order to fill this gap, you actually have to breach the close of that previous, or the close of that previous candle, right? And this candle started the gap at the close of this candle, which was $51.13. So this gap has not been closed. Okay. So what are the other things that I'm seeing that make me think that it's probably going to go down? Let's just say you don't like this gap. I hate this gap, Drew. Okay, cool. No problem. What about this one? What about this one? Do you hate this gap too? Because it didn't even come close. Not even remotely close. Okay. So the open of this, or the close of this, was at 41.41, and the open of this one was at 47.86. Let's take a little measured move on that. Let's take a little measurement and see how big of a gap that is. That is over 13%, right? It's over 13%. That's not awesome. This one is probably only like a 3 to 4% gap is my bias. It's probably like not super crazy. Yeah, it's 5% gap. Okay, cool. No problem. Right. But gaps are very substantial. So not only do we have a gap at $51, and that's problematic potentially, but we also have a gap at $41 right here. Boom. And this is where that gap would get filled. And if you know anything about gaps, gaps get filled, baby. What about this? Does that look like a support line to you from a pivot high? Yeah, that's a pivot high for sure. And then let's scroll out. Let's scroll back and see if that touches anything else. Oh, it does. It touches the previous all-time high. Damn, Daniel. That's crazy. So now we have this massive, massive support line right here, right? At $45. Okay. All right. If that's not enough for you, let's go to something that I know a lot of people are going to be arguing, which is right over here. Price discovery, man. We're in price discovery. Screw those gaps. Screw that stupid support right there. Screw that. We're in price discovery, man. All time high. It's going to keep pumping. It's AI company. It's the trend is your friend. All right, cool. Well, unfortunately, there is this thing called a Fibonacci retracement extension, and I did that. What is a Fibonacci retracement extension, Drew? Well, a Fibonacci retracement extension is where you take a previous low, you send it to a previous high, and then you take it to the next low after that high, right? So let's zoom it out and see where it was. All right, so Here's the low, right? Here's the all-time high, and then here's the low after the all-time high on that retracement. Where does that put us if we go over here? Well, by God, where does that put us? Let's take this off. At the 1.618, which is $63.84. Where are we? Where are we, Batman? $63.50. Okay, so here's my point. We've got this fib extension, and I've got these other 4 fibs here that I can show you even more confluence that's saying we're going to $45, and at the very least we're going to 50, 51. Okay, I'm not even going to touch on that because all I need to show you is that literally the 50 MA is right here at like 43 bucks. Let's pop it down. Let's see where it's at. 50 is at $43.14. The 100 is at $35.91. The 200 is at $29.47. Far is our price away from that, because we know price doesn't like to stay away from moving averages for too terribly long. At the very least, it doesn't like to stay away from the 20. If it goes just down to the 20, it's a 21% negative move. If it goes down to the 50, which is where we think it's going to go, probably around the $45 range, that's a 32% move. If it goes all the way down to the 100, 44% move. The 200 is 53%. Okay, that's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. I think we could go here to the $50 range, which gives us more confluence where that gap was. I think we can go here to the 43, 44. By the time we get here, this 50 moving average will probably be around 44, 45 bucks. Okay, now this is right where that gap was, and it's right where this support line is, right? Gap, support line. Boom. Right? That's right in the middle. That's where the 50 is right now, right in the middle of that. So I'm not even going to touch on these other 4 Fibonacci's that are going to give you even more confluence, but I just wanted to blow the price discovery thing to smithereens. Now, okay, am I guaranteeing that Palantir is going to go down? No, I'm saying that the probabilities are pointing to it. Okay, the probabilities are pointing more towards we're going to see somewhere in the realm of a potentially from here about a 28% move down to anywhere from 28% to about 35% move down. Okay. Now, what is your worst case scenario? Well, let's just go up here. Okay. We've got 25% to the downside. Let's say it's 28%, right? If you start getting up here to the $68 range and you close a candle up here, just put your stop loss up here. You got a $2 loss, right? Let's measure it. If you measure it from right here, if you go up to the $68 range, it's 7% for a 28% down move. I think I'll take those chances all day, every day, right? So set your stop losses correctly. All right. If you want to know more, if you want to know what I'm talking about with the RSIs, if you want to see me go into the higher time frames, like what's happening on the daily, what's happening on the weekly, what's happening with all the indicators on even the hourly as well, what's happening with the moving averages, and we're talking RSI, MACD, momentum, we're talking stochastic oscillators, right? If you want to see the VWAP and where the points of control and all that stuff are on this, then go to my other video that's on the other channel, because that's where you're going to get all of that technical analysis. So with that being said, I am maintaining my position that this is probably going to be going to about the $45 range, and at the very least probably $51 relatively quickly. And I've already opened short positions on it today, and I opened a little bit yesterday as well, just in preparation of this, because I didn't want it to fall all the way down, and I wasn't in the position because I was waiting on one more retest of this line. So I obviously entered here. I obviously entered here as well, and we'll see how it plays out. But again, this doesn't spell the end for Palantir. So I know all the people that are like, "Oh, Palantir to the moon, blah blah." Yeah, it can still go up after this, but healthy markets retrace, healthy prices retrace back to previous levels, and then move up for the next leg. So that doesn't mean that Palantir is going down. It just means it's going down short term, potentially. And if it reaches this level to the upside, I mean, dude, like this thing could be going up to $100, okay, to that next 2.618. So set your stop loss here, and then you can flip long if you want to, or you can enter on the retest and see if it bounces. Don't get shaken out of your position. With that being said, if you like content like this, obviously make sure you smash the like button. Go watch the entire video on the Drew_Wolfer channel. I will see you over there. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. Boom! Bang on the notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing up to this video. I will see you in the next one, hopefully on the new channel. Have a good day, everybody.